In Luke chapter 14, we meet Jesus engaging with profound issues at a Pharisee's house. Each action and parable provides insights into divine principles, and today, we will explore this narrative using the model of triadic patterns, revealing the transformative power of Jesus' teachings. And behold, there was a man before him who had dropsy. Luke 14:2. Jesus encounters a man with dropsy on the Sabbath, a situation ripe for controversy given the strict Sabbath observance. His question to the Pharisees and lawyers, is it lawful to heal on the Sabbath or not? Luke 14:3 goes unanswered, showing their uncertainty or reluctance to engage. Yet Jesus heals the man and challenges them with logic and compassion, asking, which of you having a son or an ox that has fallen into a well on a Sabbath day will not immediately pull him out? Luke 14:5. In this encounter, Jesus, A, acts not just to heal but to provoke thought about the Sabbath law, B, leading to a challenge to the Pharisees and lawyers' perspectives, C. This causal sequence illustrates how divine action disrupts traditional legalism, inviting a more compassionate interpretation of the law. Jesus' compassionate defiance illustrates that divine love transcends human legal constructs, prompting us to apply our hearts first in all matters of law and faith. When you are invited by someone to a wedding feast, do not sit down in a place of honor lest someone more distinguished than you be invited by him. Luke 14:8. In advising guests against choosing places of honor, Jesus addresses personal behavior, A, social protocol, B, and redefines what it means to be honorable, C. His advice culminates in the principle that everyone who exalts himself will be humbled, and he who humbles himself will be exalted. Luke 14:11. This teaching disrupts the conventional quest for status and recognition by inverting the value system. True honor comes not from social ascent but through humility. Here Jesus sets a balanced triad where personal humility influences social interactions, which in turn reflect back on personal dignity in the kingdom of God. This lesson invites us to rethink our approach to honor and prestige, emphasizing a spiritual recalibration of our social ambitions. But they all alike began to make excuses. Luke 14:18. The parable of the great banquet illustrates the host extending an invitation, A, which is met with excuses from the guests, B, leading to the host inviting the poor and crippled instead, C. This feedback loop demonstrates the consequences of rejecting divine invitation. Where the invited guests find themselves outside the feast, the unexpected ones find inclusion. This narrative warns of the spiritual peril in rejecting God's call due to earthly preoccupations. Jesus uses this scenario to teach that the kingdom of God will be filled with those who accept his invitation, regardless of their initial status or condition. This reversion, where the last become first, serves as a divine feedback to our responses to God's calling, emphasizing inclusivity and grace over privilege and entitlement. For which of you, desiring to build a tower, does not first sit down and count the cost, whether he has enough to complete it? Luke 14:28. Jesus uses the example of building a tower as a metaphor for discipleship, highlighting the need for planning, A, evaluating resources, C, and achieving completion, B. This indirect interaction underscores the importance of foresight and preparation in spiritual pursuits. This metaphor serves as a caution against the impulsive following of spiritual paths without due consideration of the demands and sacrifices involved. Jesus teaches that true discipleship requires thoughtful preparation and the willingness to commit fully to the journey. Just as a builder must plan to ensure the completion of a tower, so must a disciple consider what it takes to follow Christ completely. Today's exploration of Luke 14 through triadic patterns invites us to see Jesus' interactions as profound lessons in spiritual transformation and social responsibility. Each story or parable we've discussed offers a unique lens to view our behaviors, motivations, and spiritual commitments. As we reflect on these divine patterns, let us embrace the wisdom of balancing humility, accepting divine invitations, planning our spiritual journeys, and always prioritizing compassion over conformity.